said to you that my job was propping up the bar at the local pub, talking about fish, giant Murray cod, you'd say, "Oh, get stuffed, Scott. That's what you do every day anyway." But there's a terrific story about some wonderful research, a project called Trophy Murray Cod, Taxidermied Murray Cod and Environmental Change in the Murray-Darling Basin. And it's fair dinkum Aussie research. And Dr. Paul Humphreys, environmental scientist at Charles Sturt University, Albury on the mighty Murray River, joins us. They've just got into this wonderful project. Good morning, Paul.
G'day, how are you going?
I hear you had 40,000 people put their hand up to help you do the research. Is that right? But Matt O'Connell won the lottery.
He did. No, there were a lot of people, a lot of interest in that, as you can imagine. Just like you said, that people equate pubs and beer and fish and with fun, and they just want to get involved.
But there's a serious side to this, isn't there? If anyone's ever been to every pub along both sides of the Murray and up into the Granite Country, the Border pub, there's the Murray Cod Hotel at Yetman and so on and so forth, there's a stuffed cod there somewhere. Yeah,
look, there is, and it's one of those things that people have photographs and they have all sorts of stories about the big one that they caught, or the big one that got away, but those stuffed Murray cod, those taxidermied Murray cod on the walls of pubs, they don't lie. They're the real thing. So they're really good evidence, in fact, that a fish like that was in the location that was caught at that particular time. So it's a rare event to have something like that we can actually go and look at and measure and do all sorts of things with.
Is there any DNA material left in these things that have probably been soaked in formaldehyde or something?
Well, the great thing is that with advancing technologies in that area, we think that we probably can extract DNA from these fish, even though they have been preserved in all sorts of things. The ability to take a plug of the flesh out of these guys and then to sequence the DNA means we can probably get a pretty good idea of all sorts of things associated with those fish at the location and time when they were caught.
And have you gone in with any preconceived ideas, or is it one of those great research projects where you could uncover things that you didn't know you might discover?
Yeah, look, no, we haven't gone in with any particular preconceived ideas. The concept behind it is that they are trophy fish. And trophy fish, by definition, is something special, something extraordinary. You generally don't spend the money and time to put something up on the wall that's just, the average fish that you might catch in the river. It's something special. So we've gone in there thinking, and there's enough sort of background research and studies that have shown this, that people only do this for something special. So usually the something special is the size of the fish, which means that those trophy Murray cod are probably some of the bigger fish in that system at that particular time. And so our idea behind this is that we should get a bit of an idea about what the populations of Murray cod were like, and also what the sort of environment in which those Murray cod lived at that time and that place was like from the size of the fish sitting on the walls of pubs.
And what other tools do you have other than the advanced DNA testing?
Well, in fact, we don't really need a lot of tools, would you believe? Because if we can get the size of these fish and the date, location of those fish, and if it has, we know that there's a good geographic spread across the whole of the Murray Basin. We're not too sure about the time spread, and that would be a really useful thing. So until we actually do get hold of the information associated with those fish, we don't really know over what time span those fish go. But we do think we've got a pretty good sequence of individual fish from quite a long period of time. If we can have all that, even without the DNA, it gives us a really good... It's like basically that somebody's gone out and sampled, the biggest Murray cod from a whole lot of different rivers over a long period of time. And that's just unheard of. So it gives us a lot of information even before the DNA gets extracted.
Yeah, pre-carp invasion, pre-thermal pollution and water regulation,
exactly,
and all of those wonderful times prior to the changes to the river. I wonder if there's a researcher diving down into Murray cod snags to see if the big wise old Murray Cod have anglers' heads mounted on boards up on their snag. We're speaking with Dr. Paul Humphreys, environmental scientist with the Charles Sturt University, on the mighty Murray at Albury, and this is a really great tailor-made research project, and they're just launching into it, so they might be coming to a pub near you, and obviously you'll have to have a lemonade or two and chat with the locals. You'll have to earn their trust. One place you need to go to, I think, and I know the story behind this one, and I hope it's still there, is the Thomas Blamey Tavern on the banks of Lake Albert in Wagga Wagga. And I was doing an outside broadcast, and I got a call that they'd pulled a 60-pound Murray Cod out of that turbid little lake, the water skiers, and they said it had choked on a football. And I thought this was, just a silly story. So I took the kids down to the sailing club, and there's this giant pale Murray Cod from the very turbid water there with a plastic buoy, or plastic soccer ball that was being used as a buoy at the ski jump ramp, jammed down its throat. And you know what their teeth are like, Paul. I mean, they're backward facing, pin sharp, and it drowned the poor thing. And there was a lot of speculation as why it did this, but many, and I thought this was the best, it was feeding on the shrimp that would congregate underneath the ball. That lake is full of shrimp, and so it would come up and get a big mouthful of them off the ball, and this time around the ball got jammed in. And last time I looked at the pub, they still had the yellow ball stuck inside the taxidermied head. It was a terrific trophy, and I've got a photo of the fish. I actually have a photo before digital photos of the fish lying on the ground with my kids when they were tiny, and now they're in their 20s, all standing along beside it with the yellow football jammed down its throat.
Yeah, well, look, whether the fish was going for some shrimp or not, there's good records from the way back, back in the early 1800s to the present day of big Murray Cod going for very large objects in the water. I mean, they used to be known to eat ducks and things. So these guys have got really big mouths. I'm not that surprised. It might have thought that ball was something that was edible. Who knows? But I've heard of that happening before, and I've heard of it happening with other species of fish as well. So the poor thing, last meal was literally its last meal.
Yeah, exactly right. A giant soccer ball, and last time I saw it in the pub, it was still up there on the wall with the ball jammed in its gob. But you'll uncover some fantastic stories and some great data for the science, and I just can't wait to hear the results down the track.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting project, and Matt O'Connell, as you said, who's doing a PhD on this work, he's really keen to get the citizen science brigade involved, and there are a lot of people interested in this, as we've talked about. So I'm sure that he'll be in sort of contact, and people will hear about this project more and more, and hopefully they'll be ready to, and your listeners will be ready to come forth with information that might be useful for the project.
Yeah, what a fun project. So all of the pubs along the Murray, get ready for the scientists to come in. They're all teetotalers, so you've got no problem. Dr. Paul Humphreys, thanks for telling us about the Stuffed Cod project. It's a beauty.
No worries.